Hey, what's going on?
Hey mate, how you going? Good to
All
finally see
right.
you.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you today? What part of the world are you in? I'm guessing you're not exactly on location right there, but
No. No, I'm in the Bay Area,
yep.
San Francisco Bay Area.
Beautiful, beautiful. I know you just kind of finished up touring the Clash of the Titans tour. How was that? You're getting into some old school material on that one too.
Yeah, that finished. We got home Monday and great tour. Creator possessed. Everybody was on fire. We were
Yeah.
playing celebrating the legacy and the New Order album. So a lot of just old classic thrash metal.
Yep, hell yeah, hell yeah. That's what we like to see. And speaking,
Yeah.
well, I guess old into new, we might as well jump straight to this before we talk about the Australian tour. I know you guys got a new album on the way. Does playing any of these old stuff kind of get you back in that mindset of back in the 80s, going like, okay, when we're recording this, or is it you're going to continue to evolve like Testament always has and kind of push the boundaries on the new one?
Yeah, I think we've always evolved.
Mm,
We never like to go backwards. These songs definitely the old classic stuff, the legacy and order. I mean, that's where we came from. I mean,
mm,
those are the first songs we wrote. So definitely that's who we are. But we always want to evolve. We don't want to do something we've done. But I will say the new record we're very excited for because Chris Dovis, the new drummer,
mm.
is probably the most a drummer has worked with Eric writing material. And it shows the songs are very strong, very, very heavy, very fast.
Yeah.
They got a little of everything. We got some mid tempo, but really crushing fast drums. I would even say that we went and put, I don't want to say the word ballad, but it's a very slow, old classic Testament vibe, like
Yeah.
Return to Serenity, that we had the confidence and the song is there that we wrote. That's so this record, we're fired up because it's to me, it sounds modern. That's the one thing I gotta
Mm.
say. It's Testament, but modern sounding. Just because I think Chris he shifts another gear on the songs. I mean, he just puts it to another level as far as the drum playing and inspiring Eric to what he's doing. And it actually opens up the doors for me challenge wise to not just take it the easy way out. I've
Mm.
really had some challenges, a lot more screaming, death metal, mid tempo, clean vocals. I'm doing a little bit of everything. So
Hell yeah.
that's the fun part for me, and the challenging part is to make it all work.
That's exciting too, because I was going to ask you, but you've already told me that you added some of that death metal and the screaming in there. Because I was always a big fan of the formation of Damnation, because you did do a little bit of everything, especially on that song as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant record, and it's good to kind of. I think you've got such a range, and it'd be a shame not to kind of put that out there for people to hear because that's the one thing I've liked about Testament. You guys always evolved from the 80s through the 90s. You're one of those thrash bands that went, I know, metal's kind of dying at the moment. Let's just get heavier. And you guys got heavier. And that I really think that kind of helped get you guys through the 90s and push through that, I guess, that kind of dark time where metal just kind of, if you weren't Pantera, people were just not really as interested. And coming out the other side and being such a huge act over all this time, it's really well, excuse the pun, a testament to how you guys
Yeah.
have gone through the years.
Well, it was all timing back then because, as you say, the climate of metal was changing. A new
Mm,
era of style of the Seattle sound was coming in. Um, and we were at that time breaking up as a band, the original
mm,
guys. So it was a tough time for us. But you're right. We looked at it as being a little pissed off, I think. And we were with Atlantic Records for those albums, and they had an A&R guy always breathing over our shoulders, going, "Give us a single, give us a single, give us a ballad, give us." And it wasn't the representation of who we were. So once we got that grip from out from under us, we just totally went the opposite way and said, "Okay, now we can be heavier. Phew, now we have nobody asking for anything, so let's be heavy."
yeah.
And we got back to the path we needed to get down.
Yeah, no, and it worked. It worked. A lot of people love those records as well, which is for a band, that was in the 80s, went through the 90s. There's a lot of bands that they look back at, and I've heard them all say of their 90s records, oh, we weren't really happy with that because people were trying to change their sound. too much, where you guys just went, nah, we're pissed off, fuck this, let's just go, and it really showed. So those songs still hold up today. I love it. I love it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
speaking about a long time ago, it feels like forever that you guys have been to Australia. I know, I think the last time you were here was Soundwave. Is that right? Like,
2012.
wow.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I can't believe that. And I know you guys were meant to be here for Download in 2020, and that got cancelled the week
That got
before it
canceled.
happened. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
the Who, the throat singing band. They were actually in Australia when that thing got shut down. So, um, how long has it you kind of been working since that shutdown to get back here, or was it always kind of we'll wait till the next album cycle to try and make it down?
Well, we've been trying to get back there for a long time. Sorry about that.
No, you're right.
But we've been trying to get back there for a long time, but it just the financially, the
Mm.
promoters did bring us back, and it was tough. It's a long travel. Tickets are very expensive,
Mm-hmm.
and it just didn't seem to work out. We couldn't make ends meet to get there.
Yeah.
And until now, of course, AJ, who's brought us back in
Yeah.
Soundwave, is bringing us back for these. So this timing seemed to work, and even all the guys in the band, because every time we get an offer, like, oh yeah, we're going to Australia, it's like, oh man, we're trying to make the numbers work,
Yeah.
and it never works. So when I brought it up this year, first thing everybody says is, we gotta go. I'll take a pay cut. I'll travel a coach. I'll share a room. I don't care what I need to do. We got to go to Australia. So we got down, put the numbers together, and made it work.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's I am so keen because I was so keen for you guys on 2020 because like I said, I haven't seen you guys since Soundwave, and I feel like I'm a different person from the last time you were here. It's over a decade ago. How much do people change in a decade? So I'm very excited to maybe not be in the mosh pit this time and stand back and give my knees a little bit of a rest. I'm starting to get a little bit older. I say that, and you guys are out here blowing people away on stages all across the world. Still, like
But
it's
we're
incredible.
excited
Yeah.
because since 2012 we've had one, two, three, four records come
Mm.
out, so a lot of new music. And I think by the time we get there, our brand new record should be out by then. And I believe Australia might be the first in the world to get the new music live.
Hell yeah.
So, that'll be exciting for us. And hopefully Australia will, usually when you get a new record, you might play one or two songs as singles. But I have a feeling that since we're in love with this record so much, that will probably come with more songs than one or two, maybe three or four tracks.
Yeah, hell yeah. No, that's exciting as well because, like I said, you guys evolve and all your albums are so killer. It's always a shame that, like, there's been 4 albums we've kind of missed. There's been a couple there, and I'm like, might not get to see that song live, but, at least I get to hear it. But it's very exciting. So, speaking of singles and new music coming out, is there any plans to get something out before the end of the year, or you think you're going to save it all for 2025?
We'll save it all because we've went in the studio, I want to say May.
Oh,
So
okay.
we've been tracking recording since. Of course, we've used Andy Sneap in the past to mix our records, but he's not going to be available because he's in Judas Priest now.
Mm.
And so we had to find a new producer, and he's not available until January.
Ah,
So that kind of bought us a little more time to take our time with the record. I got 3 songs to sing. Alex has his solos to lay down. Drums, rhythms, everything else is done. Bass is done. Just a couple few things, and then once January comes off, we'll go right into mixing it, and I will probably, hopefully have the first single out shortly after that.
yeah.
But I could definitely see the record being out by the end of the first quarter, going maybe the second quarter next year.
Well, perfect. That definitely times out well coming to Australia. And I guess
Yeah,
it's kind of a little present to us if we're the first ones to hear it after all this time. So I
first
appreciate
ones.
that. Look, with touring all over the world, I know, and I only bring this up because my friend was telling me a story. Once I said I was going to be interviewing you today, he's like, I've got this weird story about the one time I met you. And I was like, oh, I wonder if that's the strangest thing. What's the strangest thing you've ever signed? You've been touring for a long time, and I'm curious that if you remember what he got you to sign. If not, I'll tell you afterwards. But just thinking back, what's the strangest thing someone's ever brought to you to sign?
Well, I would have to say off the top of my head, a baby.
Okay.
A baby. Someone's brought their baby and said, "Can you sign my baby's belly?" Like, that's unique, but of course, if that's what you want.
Yeah.
Um, that's probably been one of the most oddest things.
Yeah, no, he definitely wasn't the baby guy. He was telling me when you guys, I think, were down here in 2010. He was on the way to the show, and he was like, "Oh, that's right, they're doing a meet and greet beforehand. I forgot to bring something to sign." And he was walking past an old, beat down, abandoned house, and he saw the fence was falling apart. So he decided to rip one of the fencing panels off, and he got you guys to sign this just plank of wood that he ripped off a fence on the way to the show. He still has it
Oh,
in his
no
house
way.
today. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully I'll see him again.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I think he's very excited you guys are coming back down. But let's go back a little bit as well with touring. How are you finding touring after all these years and coming out post pandemic? What, when we all get older, what do you do differently now as you prepare to get on stage?
Well, it definitely like as far as health wise and being prepared, I always want to give 100% at my performance now. Where back when I was a youngster, drinking, smoking, partying, staying up all night, that was the routine.
Yeah.
So I felt like maybe I wasn't 100% performance wise for my fans. Where now I'm all about trying to give 100%. So I even give up smoking weed before I go on tour.
Yep.
That's probably number one. I really try to get my fitness up, my health. I ride a Peloton bike, so I really try to get my stamina and my wind up.
Yep.
Um, I still bang my head as hard as I've done in the past, so I always got to be in good form.
Yep.
Um, and and really know the lyrics, I guess. Where in the past, maybe I'd make some up or miss some because I just would forget. Where it's all about the show, it's all about the performance, and now just to get me through it every day, it's kind of like Groundhog's Day for me.
Mm.
Like, I try to get through a tour, not dwelling on the tour,
Yeah.
dwelling how long I got left, dwelling what am I going to sing next week, how's my voice holding up. I kind of go a day at a time,
Yep.
and I wake up at the same time, have my 2 cups of coffee at the same time, sound check at the same time, my lunch at the same time. Everything is at the same time.
Yeah.
So I have a routine going, and it gets me through the day, and it feels just normal. So like when I get home, like I just got home Monday, my whole schedule is screwed up because everything's different. I'm not on a schedule. I don't have to be somewhere at a certain time. And I literally slept for like 2 days, just like, okay, I don't have to wake up right now. I'm just gonna stay asleep here on the couch and enjoy it, you know. So that was nice.
Oh, I know what you mean. I did that last weekend. I've been running 100 miles an hour. When you get that day, it's like, well, I don't have any commitments. No one's expecting to see me today. How good is that sleep when you know I don't need to get up and do anything? I don't think there's anything better in the world. Like no drug, nothing. That just being able to lie there until you're ready to get up. Oh, nothing is better.
Exactly. You roll over and you just say, okay, see you later. I'm out again.
I love it. And I want to go back a little bit talking about the ballad on the new album. I don't know if this was just a rumor or I saw somewhere that you're looking potentially at even Floor from Nightwish joining you on that one. Is that something that's
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah, I reached out to her.
Yeah.
Me and Floor became friends maybe under 10 years ago. Me, her, Joey Belladonna, Udo, Dirk Schneider, we all did this Christmas performance show through Europe,
Yeah.
and it was singing our songs, but with a Christmas theme with an orchestra. And so we all traveled together and became friends. And she's a powerhouse of a vocalist,
Mm.
great voice. And when we wrote the song and the lyrics, first thing I thought was, okay, this song it needs a strong girl's voice, and of course Floor is the first one
Yeah.
that came to mind. And this song it's going to be pretty epic. We're going to put like a string section on it, acoustic guitars. Really, it's going to have a lot going on, but it's a really really beautiful song,
Yeah.
and it's really deep. And with Floor, it's kind of me and her kind of singing the lyrics kind of to each other and the meaning of the song and what we're saying. It's kind of like I'll sing my part and she's answering me through
Ah.
the vocal. So it's going to be very strong and very cool, and I can't wait to hear what she's going to do on it.
Yeah, I'm excited because you honestly, you can't get a better female singer than Floor. Like, even if you wanted a death growl, she can do it all. Like, there's nothing that woman cannot do. So I am extremely excited to see what she brings to the table on this one. I think a lot of people are going to be very excited to see what comes out of that one.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I mean, and I think, we haven't sent it to her because we haven't laid down the acoustic guitars yet for it. The song's done. I tracked it all. I tracked her parts, and we haven't sent it. I want to wait till she hears it for the first time with the acoustics and hear how get the vibe. I
Yeah.
want her to be in the vibe, once she gets it.
Oh, well, that's exciting, and you're right. It's one of those things. If you're presenting it to someone else, you know what it is. You've written it. You know how it's going to sound. But when someone's experiencing something for the first time, it's like you just kind of want to give them everything. You don't want to give them a trailer like a movie trailer. You want them to watch the movie and enjoy it how it is. So I think that's a very smart way of doing it as well.
Yeah, we're excited, and we've got some. Alex has a connection, some guys that are going to do the strings on it who
Yep.
played on some huge records. So what we've heard so far, it's pretty cool.
So I think this is going to be the one that kind of blows people's minds. I think from the way you're sounding it, we've got this big epic coming along with the fast, heavy stuff. So we're getting a little bit of everything. So this is truly is kind of a roller coaster of an album where it's got its dips and its highs. So I'm excited. How many tracks do you have down for it? Out of curiosity.
There's going to be 11,
11. Good number.
11 tracks. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's exciting. I cannot wait. It can't come soon enough. But then again, time flies at the end of the day. I can't believe we're already it's November here. I'm talking to you from the
I
future
know.
over in Australia.
I know. I
Uh,
know. It's going by quick, but after we finish this European run, we're going to spend the holidays and focus on getting the record done. But starting out in the new year, we'll be fired up. We're going to have a new record ready in the can, ready to go, and see what opportunities are out there in 2025.
well, it seems like you guys are almost allergic to not touring at this point because you really, ever since COVID, have been touring this whole time for the last album. And it sounds like even though you're kind of winding down now, you finished up this tour, new album's going to be coming out. So it's kind of back on the road. Do you prefer to kind of be out there doing this all? I guess it was taken away for a long time. So how was that being taken away during the pandemic, not being able to play shows to first getting back out on stage? Was there any
I I
nerves?
actually enjoyed it, because we have been working and on the move all the time. Go to Europe every summer and
Yeah.
just, the same thing. So when we got to sit at home with our animals, the dogs, and just chill with not any plans, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I think we don't get that too often. So we took advantage of it. We have an RV. We jumped in the RV with the dogs and just went and spent a lot of time at the beach.
Nice.
And we took advantage of it. So once we had to go back to work, we were kind of, you know, having a little angst, because we were like, oh man, we got to go back and get into this again. And we've been so separated from everybody,
Mm.
And for me, I have an 18-year-old dog.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I know being gone, and if something happened to him, that's devastating. So to spend a good year and a half, 2 years solid with him was, for me, very cool,
Yeah.
you know. And
And
so it's hard now when we leave now. He's 18 and a half, and it's like every time it's like, oh, just please make it till I get home, you know.
yeah. Wow, that's a great. He would have loved that time you got to spend with him as well. Dad's home for all this time. Wow, 8.5. What breed?
They're miniature dachshunds.
Oh, okay.
So they're real small little dachshunds, but we always joke like if we were to reincarnate, we'd want to come back as our dogs because they got the life, man. I got to tell you.
My dad's always said the same thing. And I've always said, I was like, yeah, if I ever pass away before you guys, I hope I come back as one of your dogs. Because, man, just what spoiled dogs we had growing up. Like, I wish I was that spoiled.
Totally, totally.
Oh, well, mate, look, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here today. I cannot wait for the new album. I cannot wait to see you again when you finally come down here. It's not a lot of times bands come down during like June, July, time where it's nice and cold in Australia, though cold in Australia is not really that cold at the end of the day. We all know that. But what are you most looking forward to coming back down here? And is there anything you want to say to the fans out there that have potentially never seen Testament? There would be a lot of fans that you know, might have only been 12 last time you guys were here and never got the chance to see you. Like, that's got to be a little surreal as well. You know, you could have people bringing their kids to the show that were there
Yeah,
last time.
well, for us, it's exciting because we have four new records
Mm,
since last time we were there, and I think since these last 4 to 5 records, it's really been a new start for Testament as
mm,
far as our style of songwriting and performing and stuff. You know, we haven't slowed down in the performance area. You know, we're banging our head as hard as we
yeah.
have when we were young, and we love to play fast and hard and heavy. But I think we have more to offer as far as the repertoire of songs. And
Mm,
I think that's the fun part, to be able to come and have this selection of, you know, shoot, almost, 50, 60
yeah.
songs to choose from that we didn't have last time we were there. So it's going to be interesting coming up with the set list, first of all.
Yeah.
Um, but it's going to be great, and we look forward to it because, like I said earlier, Australia reminds me of the laid back people of California. Everything's just take it easy, no worries, no rush, just chill.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about it, meeting the fans, hanging out, and especially getting to play the clubs and not necessarily stuck on something like Soundwave where you don't really have the opportunity to roam and meet everybody. Where if you're at the clubs, of course, we come out after the show
Yeah.
before we leave and meet everybody hanging out, sign all the albums,
Yeah.
talk about their history growing up with us, which is always great. So we look forward to that. But again, I'm so glad it worked out that we get a chance to be back.
Yeah. No, and I'm very excited, and I'm glad you said you were going to include some songs off the albums you didn't get to tour down here for, because it'd be a shame if we didn't get a few of those. Because, like I said, man, I don't know, you guys are like wine; you just kind of get better with age. I'm definitely one of those guys. I'm like, well, the new stuff, God strike me down. I personally prefer it to some of the old stuff these days. I just really like the sound you guys have put together, the way you've kind of grown over the years. It's a really beautiful thing to see, because a lot of bands, they kind of get stuck in that old mentality. So to continuously see it grow and push yourself, like I think even the last album with World War III had almost like black metal vocals on it to an extent. And I was like, I never thought of this for Testament. So it's amazing, and like, well done on your whole catalog. I cannot wait for what's next.
Well, thank you so much, and we look forward to presenting the new album to Australia first. So that's going to be an awesome one.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait. Well, Chuck, we'll see you down here next June. It's been a pleasure. You enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
Bye.